Well, hello Internet, and welcome to part 25 of my linear algebra tutorial series. In this part of the tutorial, we're going to talk about change of basis. Okay, so we may want to be able to sometimes to pick sets of vectors that are best suited to our task. Now, we have been using the standard basis so far. So, for example, I would be represented with 1 and O, and J would be O and 1, or X and Y, however you want to refer to them. We could, however, define our own basis based off of different vectors. So let's say we instead decide we want to use M for I or X, and let's make it 2 and 1, and N would be, let's just make it 1 and 1 to keep it simple. Well, now we would have a custom coordinate plane where X now moves in increments of 2, 1, and Y moves in increments of 1, 1. Let me draw this in so you can see it better. So in this situation, let's take M first. So that would be 2, 1. So that means we would have a point right here, a point right here, a point right here, a point right here. Okay? And I can roughly draw this in here, and hopefully it's somewhat straight. Okay, pretty much. Okay, so I think you get the idea of what's going on here. Likewise, with the change in N, it would have these values right here. So you can see me drawing those in. And then once again, I can come in here and roughly draw in that changed vector. All right, so there you go. And in this specific situation, this dot right here, this orange dot, which is right there, which I just made blue, would represent the value at 1. Then we would have a value at 2, and 3, and 4. And I drew those in with white just to make them a little bit clearer. And then once again with N, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Might seem a little bit confusing, but once I start showing you some examples, it'll all make sense. So let's say that we have a vector, which is 7 and 4. And this is going to be based off of the original coordinate system, or the standard basis. And hence, it would be represented as 7i plus 4j. However, with our new basis, it would be based off of vector equal to 3m plus 1n. And I can show you exactly how that would be true if we would take 3 times 2 and 1 plus, and 2 and 1 obviously is coming from right there. Well, this would be equal to. This would come out to be 6 and 3 plus 1 and 1, which of course is going to end up being equal to 7 and 4 using the standard basis. Now 2, 1, 1, 1 is what we call the change of basis matrix. Okay, so to find a vector in the new basis, we augment the matrix using our new basis and where we want to get. And then we reduce to row echelon, or reduced row echelon form. So what we're going to do is go 2, 1, 1, 1, augmented with our original standard basis, and then go to reduced row echelon form, which will be R2 minus 1/2 R1. Place this in R2, which gives us 2, 1, 7, 0, 1/2, and 1/2. Then we multiply 2 times R2, which gives us 2, 1, 7, 0, 1, 1. We then subtract R2 from R1, which will give us 2, 0, 6, 0, 1, 1. Then take 1/2 of R1, which gives us 1, 0, 3, and 0, 1, 1. So now we know that our vector in the new basis, which is how you write this, is going to be equal to 3 and 1. So if we would model this out in a different way, let's say we have A, which is our change of basis matrix, which is this guy right here, and V in the new basis, this is going to be equal to our new vector. And show it to you in a different way just so you see it. 2, 1, 1, 1, boom, ba-doom, like that. And 3 and 1 is equal to 7 and 4. If anything is in any way unclear, please ask me in the comments. And also, if we know our change of basis matrix, and we know the vector in our new basis, which is going to be 3, 1, then we'll be able to find the vector in the standard basis. So, if we know our change of basis matrix, and this is our vector in our new basis, we can put this in the standard basis, or the standard coordinate plane, however you want to think about it. This works out to 2 times 3 plus 1 times 1, 1 times 3 plus 1 times 1, which of course is going to give us 7 and 4. And also we can find our vector v in the new basis by multiplying the inverse of the change of basis matrix by the vector in the standard basis. So what that means, here's our vector in our new basis. This is going to be equal to our change of basis matrix times our standard vector. Well, we're going to have to find the inverse of this, which is going to be equal to the determinant of 2, 1, 1, 1 over 1, or this is under 1 actually, times, and this will end up being 1, negative 1, negative 1, and 2. And if we work this out, this is going to end up being 2 times 1 minus 1 times 1 multiplied, and this actually ends up being equal to 1, which I think you can easily see there. And so this ends up being 1, negative 1, negative 1, and 2. So that means that this is our inverse. Since we're multiplying that times 1, there's no point in going through that. Well, that means that our vector in our new basis is going to be equal to 1, negative 1, negative 1, and 2. There's the inverse, times 7 and 4, which is the standard basis location for it. And if we work this out, 1 times 7 plus negative 1 times 4, negative 1 times 7 plus 2 times 4, and that means that this guy right here is going to be equal to 3, 1. So there you go. That is change of basis and numerous different ways of looking at it. Hopefully that totally makes sense. I will be covering it again in the next video, and like always, please leave your questions and comments down below. Otherwise, till next time.